Steve Forbes is with us right now. His reaction to all of this. You know, Steve, it's interesting that he spent as much time as he did, and maybe still is, in Washington. And I'm just wondering why, because he's famously bashed Washington, and an inept Washington at that. What do you think?
I think he's trying to do things that will lower the temperature around him. He's become hotly controversial. That has hurt Twitter in terms of getting business and uses. So I think he wants to turn down the temperature. Also, you mentioned, Hillary mentioned Section 230. I think he wants to make sure that isn't tampered with in a way that would really put Twitter on the ropes again. And also, I think he's got plans probably for Twitter in terms of expanding it, perhaps going after Google or other things. I don't think it's just going to stay a message company. So he just wants to lower the temperature so that he doesn't become a lightning rod, which gets in the way of doing business.
Yeah, you know, a lot of Democrats have turned on him, maybe because some of the changes going on at Twitter. He says he wants it to be an open service for every point of view. Maybe that could explain him bumping into or explaining things with Hakeem Jeffries. We don't know, the Democratic leader in the House. What do you think is really going on here regarding Twitter and how he's trying to pitch it to Washington?
Well, Twitter's been portrayed by the left now as simply a right-wing extremist organization, which is anything but. So I think he went to Washington to try to counter that, and a chance run-in with the new leader of the Democratic Party in the House of Representatives, Representative Jeffries, is a smart thing to do. By having a chance meeting, quote unquote, that means Jeffries won't get in trouble with his base, but also lets Musk make his case. And Jeffries does, even though he's on the left, does have a reputation behind the scenes as somebody you can do business with. So I think this is really Elon Musk trying to smooth things over so that he can get back on track again instead of putting out all these fires and everything going up kablooey. His stock, as you know, in recent days has done sensationally on Tesla, so that's coming back again. He's raising $3 billion plus in cash to shore up his balance sheet. So I think he wants a good environment for that. So he just wants to turn the temperatures down so he can get back to doing what he does best, and that is doing highly creative things, whether it's rocketry or whatever.
Yeah, he had a good record at it, no matter what he tries. You know, I'm curious, too, because we've seen how tech CEOs were treated when they appeared on Capitol Hill. And, you know, this is one area where the two parties were very similar. They didn't treat them well. Now, that might be a different case so far, at least with this Republican House, barely Republican House, and how they respond to Elon Musk. But I'm just wondering about this concern that these guys, I'm talking collectively about tech CEOs who've gotten too big for their britches, and they have to be taken down a peg or two, Musk included. What do you think?
Well, the high-tech leaders deserve very bad marks in not doing basic public relations on Capitol Hill and elsewhere. You know, decades ago, when you had a legal monopoly with AT&T, decades ago, they went out of their way to make sure everyone was happy. Anyone had a complaint, they dealt with it. Just the opposite of the arrogance that you've seen from these a lot of these high-tech companies. So I think Musk figured, why go to Capitol Hill before a congressional hearing where you know you're not going to look good? To do a preemptive move now, run into Jeffries, run into McCarthy, and try to lower the temperature. So it's a smart thing to do. It shows why he's a great entrepreneur. Be proactive rather than reactive, and try to lower temperatures rather than just thinking you're so big you're untouchable.
Yeah, and I'm thinking Musk notwithstanding, you know, if you're rich, you're a billionaire, you could be a target right now. This is more case with blue states that are looking for ways to squeeze money out of very rich individuals, even extending it beyond income to their total wealth, how much land and artwork they own and that sort of thing. He might also be looking at that and maybe inquiring just how far is this coming along? What do you think?
Well, I don't think he even has to bring the subject up. If he's seen they're doing good things, expanding Twitter in new ways, expanding Tesla, which has still been leading the world in terms of EV technology, beating out the Japanese, the Germans, the U.S., everyone else. So I think he wants to, again, smooth things over, a guy you can approach. You don't have to hold him before a congressional committee. He'll come and explain things to you. And so I think in that sense, he's ahead of some of the leaders of some of these other high-tech companies.
That's a very good point, Steve. The others might have to do or follow up what he just did or might still be doing. Always good.